and welcome. Happy 2020! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome as well. I tend to come through twice a week with videos on motivation, magic, and manifestation, some self-love, entrepreneur tips, facts of life, and the occasional vlog when I see fit. If you do like what you see here today, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button as well as that bell below so you can make sure that you're up to date on all of my uploads. So today I wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about establishing routines. This is something that I find hard to do in general, and since we're at the beginning of 2020, so yes, we've made it. Breathe. We can actually take some time to kind of hit the ground running, start establishing some concrete routines so we can move forward with success in mind. So I've gone ahead and broken down routines into 3 categories that I think are pertinent. Now, I'm not going to do the typical 10 habits you should establish to be a millionaire. I think we've all seen enough videos for that. So these are just kind of routines that I've established for myself that I think you might find helpful as well. Whether you're a religious person or not, at the end of the day, we all need to have something to ground ourselves or some way to ground ourselves. So first routine that I recommend working to establish is manifestation and visualization. We should all definitely work on setting aside a time to establish gratitude, to think about what we actually are thankful for as opposed to what has irritated us throughout the day, and then also spending some time to actually work on visualizing and manifesting what we do want to have as the new year continues. And I actually do a couple things. So first things first, I light a manifestation candle. I did post a link to this at the bottom of my page if you're interested in it, but it's completely crystalled and oiled out to help get me in the mood, and I am a very spiritual person, so it does help me kind of get things moving and move some energies around. And then I spend some time to actually journal. I write down every single thing that I'm looking to manifest for 2020. Do yourself a favor, purchase a journal. If you're into candles and you are like me and a very spiritual person, then definitely look at doing that as well. And set some time aside every single night to focus on gratitude and then focus on ways to manifest what you're looking for. Cleansing and clearing your space. I would recommend finding a space to you that's sacred, your house, if it is your whole house, or your room, and then work on making sure that you're cleansing and clearing that space every single night. If you can't do it every single night because your life's just a bit crazy, try to do it at least twice a week, where you get rid of all the negative energy that you've kind of brought in from other people or just experiences, and you've done what you can to move things around so that you can actually enjoy the space that you're in. For me, that's my bedroom, and I will spend at least an hour within the night going through. My bed's usually already made, but I will take some time to vacuum or to do laundry if that's not done. Do whatever you need to do in order to make sure that your space is cleansed from the night before. It's to your vibration and it's just comfortable. Third thing that I recommend establishing in terms of routines would be a wind down routine. I think a nightly wind down is extremely necessary for us to just calm down our brain and be able to prepare for a good night's sleep. And that can be done through a ritual bath, through journaling if you want to make that part of that, through meditation. It can be done through just sitting in silence for 15 minutes. Talking to yourself, whatever you want to do, but create some sort of a wind down routine for yourself so that you can relax and prepare for a nice, comfortable night's sleep without having all of the stress of what happened earlier in the day overwhelm you. Routine that I definitely recommend establishing, something that I actually am working on myself to get into the habit and routine of doing, is a morning meditation. This should be done preferably before the sunrise. I know we're all used to hitting that snooze button like 10 or 20 times because we just don't feel like getting up in the morning. This is a way to kind of break that habit, try to zen yourself out so that you're not stressed out. The proven fact that waking up early in the morning tends to help with energy. It makes you a little bit more excited and fulfilled throughout the day because you can kind of get a little bit more done. So when that alarm goes off, perhaps instead of hitting that snooze button, take a minute to wake yourself up, sit up, and then meditate for 10 or 15 minutes. Turn on some music if you need to. Whatever you need to do, just set yourself up for the rest of the day. It goes accordingly to your vibe, because it's all about vibe. So ideally, your career should be your passion, but for some of us, that's just not the case. That's okay. So either way, whatever that may be, we need to have some routine set aside to be able to fulfill this category and making sure we're getting things done. So first things first, I would suggest investing in a planner or creating a custom to-do list. I myself have a planner, and I'll definitely have a video down the line discussing what planners I actually utilize to help that side of my life. But if you aren't really into planning and not really into the whole sitting down writing thing, then a custom to-do list will actually suit you just fine. You want to make sure that you review this list, or if you have a planner, reviewing your planner once a morning. Take 15 minutes, just kind of review, reorganize, restructure what your imperative items are on your list, just to make sure that you know what you're getting done and you're not overwhelming yourself. If you do decide to complete or create a to-do list, that you only create something that gives you 3 or 4 action items that you must complete within the day. Anything more than that, we're just not going to get it done. Or do a planner and actually fill out your planner the evening before and spend about an hour or so before bed just kind of doing that. Second would be energizing yourself through finding something that you are excited to do in that day that pertains to your career or your passion. We all have things within our career even that we aren't excited to do. Maybe today is your day to look at finances, which is never a super exciting thing to do. Or maybe your job or what you do on your day-to-day isn't really what you want to be doing and it's kind of a temporary thing. We need to find something that we actually are excited to do every single day that pertains to that, and that's the only thing that's going to really keep us going. Make it a routine to actually find something that you are excited to do that day and then done for that throughout the day. That means that you're working to get everything else out of your way so you can work on that fun thing for the rest of the day. That's just going to energize you. It's going to get you a bit excited because it's something that your heartstrings are being pulled to. It's a routine, and I've tried to utilize in my life continuously. It's helped tremendously. So I think that is something that you should definitely try to incorporate. Focusing on creating a bond. Every single day that you go to your work or your co-working space, if you own your own business, if you work from home, this might be a little harder to do, but work on creating a bond with someone, establishing a new relationship, or cultivating a relationship that you already have with someone. The purpose of this is so that you can actually sit back and increase your circle and your network overall. If we're talking career and passion here, you have to have a network. That's the only way that we're ever able to thrive in general with things like this. So work on widening that every single day. Create an established routine for yourself where every day you're making it a point to try to find someone new, or if you have someone that you're already very familiar with, trying to make that relationship deeper and at least set yourself up for something down the road. Probably my least favorite category, I'm not gonna lie, because I mean, as a Pisces, we're pretty notorious to not be that great. I've actually personally had to work pretty hard to establish these routines for myself and ensure that I'm not, basically swimming in debt or just not paying attention to anything. First things first, shifting all of your bills to the first of the month and then spending the night before actually working to make sure that all of those bills are adequately paid and allocating funds as necessary. Now all of your bills are going to be due the first of the month. That's pretty obvious, but you can always look to shift auto pay to something like that if you have the funds to be able to do that. That's going to help you a lot because all of your bills are paid in bulk at that day, and then the rest of the funds that are left over in your account can be allocated towards groceries or fun or kids or whatever you have going on. This should only be done if you have the ability to do that. I'm fortunate enough to have the ability to do that. So if you can't do the first of the month, that just doesn't really make sense to you. Pick another day that might work better where you have all of your money in your bank account around that time frame, and then work on making sure that you have all of your bills set aside for that. And then of course, set some time aside once a month the night before to actually review and make sure that everything is still kosher. Creating a document or creating a budget planner to review every Sunday. This is a weekly routine that I do myself. It helps me to ensure that I am within my budget that I've allocated for myself, and it also helps me be able to recognize where there are weaknesses in what I'm doing. This is something that I think we all have problems with, unless you're just amazing at money, and some of us are, but this is something that I've actually established myself, and I do take that time to actually review what my budget is every single Sunday, where I've actually spent everything, compiling receipts, whatever I need to do for that week, and I make sure that everything is copacetic before I move on to Monday. Reviewing your savings once a week to make sure that you have an adequate emergency fund is very important. The purpose behind this is just to make sure that you have the money necessary in case anything crazy comes up and you can be able to afford it. I recommend following that Dave Ramsey method and at least having $1,000 in your bank account for savings, but some people like to have a little bit more. Some people are fine with a little bit less. If you do have more in your savings than you thought you did, let's say you have $1,500 over $1,000, you can take that $500 out of your savings and quickly put that towards a debt that you're trying to pay down. It's kind of a bonus in a sense. I mean, you're kind of taking stuff out of your savings, but you're paying down a debt that you no longer have to owe anymore, which is awesome. That's what I do. I actually try to find money within my own money to try to pay down my own debts. I do this at the same time that I actually review my budget, but some individuals like to do this at the end of the month, and that might be a good routine that you establish as well. So those are just a few routines that I recommend that you look at bringing into your weeks for 2020. I think it'll help a lot with your self-love and your spirituality, with building your career or pushing your passion forward. And then of course, finance, money. I think we could all use pretty much every tip we can get to make things a little bit easier. Hopefully you got something out of this, and let me know if you have any other tips. Feel free to comment them down below. I am always excited to kind of read through that and see how everyone else is establishing routines to kind of help with themselves. Likewise, if you have any other suggestions at all to kind of help anyone else with routines, please feel free to comment that below as well. Otherwise, until next time, bye. Like out of breath. And broke down establishing, I went ahead